Hello, everyone, and happy Wednesday here. Nick Marro, DFS with Jayhawk, as always, helping you break down tonight's NBA DFS main slate on both DraftKings and FanDuel. I am here with Occupy Fantasy. And yeah, we got a seven gamer once again on DK. I believe nine over on FanDuel. The two late games are only on FanDuel. But even in just the early games, Jayhawk, a lot of news we're going to have to get through here. Tons of guys resting tonight. The Warriors doing that thing they do where they bench everybody, where they give them the night off. A few other spots we're looking at as far as news goes, and to make things even more complicated, we got a bunch of football spreads here on this slate. So yeah, what's your overall takes right now, man? Definitely a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, man, we were talking pre-stream. Anytime the Golden State Warriors open up value on the slate, we have to deal with Steve Kerr and his crazy rotations. So, very excited to kind of talk about who's going to bust and who's going to succeed here. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. Appreciate everyone in chat. We got Luke, David, Heath, Nick Lovett, Swerve, Greg. Would love to pull you guys all the comments up on the screen. I'll hit a few of them here, but time is of the essence today, that's for sure. But appreciate you all being here. But yeah, let's get right into it, man. A lot to talk about. This game here, we have the Hornets taking on the Indiana Pacers, 238.5 point total. Pretty close spread, which does go a long way on a slate like this, so keep that in mind. Let's start on the Charlotte side of things. Josh Green's out. Trey Mann is doubtful. He's been available, so that one's interesting. Brandon Miller's out. No Salulin or Grant Williams. So I don't know that it changes a ton with Trey Mann out. Maybe just secures a few extra minutes for someone like Sexton. I mean, this is a great matchup though for Charlotte. Like, I think you can make a case for Bridges. Ball hasn't really been showing the ceiling lately. We know he's capable of it though. If this is one of the only competitive games, I don't mind mixing him into exposures. Can't really say I'm prioritizing any one player here, Jayhawk. But how are you feeling about the Hornets right now?
Yeah, so Charlotte's super interesting. Obviously, LaMelo coming back here from injury. We haven't projected for 30 minutes. I just kind of question if that's enough minutes to play him here. It is a great matchup, like you mentioned, but I do prefer other studs up top. And then Bridges and Con Canoopel, both are fine to sprinkle in tournaments, but I don't know, man. It's tough to get to these guys compared to what everything else we have on the slate.
Yeah, Lamelo did play two nights ago, and it is notable. Each of his last five games played, he finished with. Oh no, he did get over 30 minutes. The last two games under 27 or under 28 though. So I'm with you. There is some concern there, especially when we're picking from him and the other payups. But yeah, I guess Canoople's fine. Bridges is fine to mix in. I'll even say Kalkbrenner as a value center. Not that we need that value at center tonight. We got a lot of other spots to consider. But one of the only games that looks to be competitive, at least on the DK slate, all alone. Good tournament plays here for Charlotte. On the other side of things, for the Pacers, obviously, still no Tyrese Halliburton. Quentin Jackson's going to be out, as is Aaron Naismith and Obi Toppin. Yeah, man, Matherin's back, which kind of throws a wrench in the Nemhard love that we've been, I don't know, touting here at Occupy. Definitely getting to a lot of him when Matherin was out, but now that Matherin's back, I think he's fine, Nemhard, but not really something I'm rushing to get to. Siakam obviously has upside. Um, Again, there's just other plays in that range I am prioritizing over him. I will say Isaiah Jackson, if he starts at center again, feels a little bit too cheap here. Obviously, a guy who does get into foul trouble a lot, but very good fantasy point per minute producer. Not a terrible matchup for him either, especially when Kalkbrenner's out there. So yeah, man, I don't mind mixing in Jackson. I think Nemhard I feel the best about as far as the starters go. I want to get more of this game, but I don't know. It's just a deep rotation right now with everyone priced where they should be. Are you getting too many Pacers here?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, shout out to Benny Matherin for being back here. I think he lost a couple minutes last game to foul trouble and whatnot, but he should be good to go here. I'm fine with him. 11%, good game environment, pretty good ownership, so totally fine with Benedict Matherin. The guy I'm actually bumping here the most is Pascal Siakam. It's just more of a game total and price point here, 9,300. I just think he'll likely be under owned. Obviously, Randall for 1,000 cheaper. There's some other guys around him. So I do like Siakam a lot in tournaments. And then I think Nemhard is fine, 10% owned. But like you mentioned, I do worry about him with Benny Math back here.
Yeah, Matherin did have five fouls that first game back. We have him for 30 minutes, which is more than enough as far as I'm concerned. I don't mind the Siakam shot. I just think we're going to need 50 plus fantasy points in that range. I don't know if maybe Matherin being back will help get some of that defensive attention off him. But yeah, I mean, as a tournament play, it's fine. Let's keep going here, though. We got the Toronto Raptors taking on the 76ers, 233.5 point total in this one. On the Toronto side of things, nothing really significant. Murray Boyles is going to be out. Akbaji is available. Other than that, I hate how Toronto looks like their whole G League team on the injury report, but nothing else too significant to talk about. As is often the case with this team, I think you could consider their starters, well, pretty much all of them, honestly. Quickly, Barrett, Ingram, Barnes, and Podol all look fine, but I can't sit here and say one really stands out ahead of the others. I mean, Barnes obviously is the highest ceiling, it seems. Quickly, at his price, probably my favorite point per dollar. I do think he's pretty easy to get to on this slate. But yeah, I'm fine with the starters. I just don't think one is standing out to me necessarily, Jayhawk. How about you when it comes to Toronto?
Yeah, so I've kind of watched a couple of the Raptors game. The guys that I'm kind of been targeting for ceiling have been Scotty Barnes and Quickly. Those are kind of the two I'm targeting once again here tonight. Totally fine with both of them. Nothing against Barrett or Ingram, but Ingram just really hasn't flashed a ceiling in my eyes. Like he's had a couple pretty solid games, but he hasn't really shown that 45, 50 point upside we want to see. So I lean with Barnes and Quickly here. I like them both in tournaments. And then I think RJ Barrett's probably my third favorite, 11.8%. But I do prefer Quickly at the price points.
Yep, I'm with you, man. Again, I think Barron and Ingram kind of secondary plays. Barnes at his price, I don't know that I get too much. So quickly, I think my favorite, but it sounds like we're pretty much aligned on that one. On the 76ers side of things, still no Joel Embiid. Adam Bona is going to be out tonight as well. Paul George, who just returned, is getting a night of rest. No Kelly Oubre and Jared McCain, likely limited, but is going to be available. So Philly, pretty interesting situation. I've been playing all the Drummond every single night. And it's kind of been working out, honestly. He usually comes out slow and then gets there. I'm expecting the same here tonight against Podol. I think he's going to come out slow, but we have him for 34 minutes, and he's gone over that in back-to-back games. Don't mind the matchup. The price, it's come up a little bit, but not as much as it should, in my opinion. Drummond, overall, one of my favorite plays on the entire slate. I'm getting Maxey here now with no Paul George or Oubre. I do like him as far as pay-up guards go. I mean, we're talking about Ball. I mean, Siakam, obviously, a different position. I would rank Maxey ahead of both of these guys, as well as the Toronto guys we were just talking about, because his upside is tremendous at 10K flat. You are paying a premium for him, but compared to some of the other options, he is one of my favorites, at least on DK, where we don't have the late games. Edgecombe, man, it's like he was so good, he got kind of priced out of consideration. Now that price is back down. Again, no Oubre should help his usage a little bit. We're probably going to see Quentin Grimes start here. Those two are identical plays, in my opinion. I think depending on what you need, you can go with one or the other. I'll say maybe Edgecombe has the higher floor, Grimes is the higher ceiling, but the model definitely likes Edgecombe more. So just keep that in mind. Not a huge ownership gap there. But yeah, man, Drummond's my guy. I'm going to keep playing him. And I was joking with Smitty. I'm like, in 2025, he told me Drummond would be like my most owned play early in the season. I'd probably think I was broke by now, but he's been pretty decent. How you feeling today about these 76ers?
Yeah, first of all, love the Drummond shout. I kind of hope he gets overlooked here with all these value centers now. So yeah, love that shout there. And then obviously Tyrese Maxey looks awesome up top. He's playing 40 minutes a night. Great spot, high shot attempt. So love Maxey, love Drummond's. Then I'm fine with Edgecombe and Grimes, but Drummond and Maxey are the priorities for me.
Yep, I'm with you. Good question from Luke here. Good way to get different at center on FanDuel. Drummond to me, man. 10% owned, 6,500. That looks pretty damn good. We also talked about going to maybe Kalkbrenner. He's riskier. But yeah, I think Drummond, 10%. That's different enough. I mean, any other, I know we got a lot of games to go through, but any low owned centers standing out to you early, Jay?
Oh man, that's difficult. I feel like I guess you could maybe say, if you wanted to get weird, maybe Vukovic off of a chalky Bagley. But yeah, nothing that stands out too much outside of what we're going to cover.
Yeah, I don't know if he's low on tonight, but I'll use that as an opportunity to segue into a guy who is often one of your favorite low on centers. We got Alperen Sengun here in the
Oh
Houston
yeah.
Rockets taking on the Cavs on the road, 234.5 point total. And again, there's a lot of games that project to be blowouts on this slate. This is not one of them. Two teams that play good defense but play very fast, so they can still score you tons of fantasy points. On the Houston side of things, Fred VanVleet obviously out. Jabari Smith questionable. That is notable. No Dorian Finney-Smith and no Tari Eason, who was usually the guy when Smith is out, we're rushing to get to. But it sounds like we're probably going to see Steven Adams in the starting lineup tonight. I think that lineup might already be out. He's cheap enough to mix in. We haven't really seen a ton of upside for him. But as far as like a pivot off of a Bagley, who we'll talk about in a little bit, I do think Adams makes some sense. Sengun looks good here. He is a little bit more popular than he has been lately, though. Big product of the slate more than anything. Not a ton of centers to pay up for. So not a great matchup for him here, if I'm being completely honest. But again, coming off back-to-back games where he's scoring you 60 fantasy points, tough not to have some love for him. KD fills a void at a thin forward position, priced where he should be. Eamon Thompson, another guard I think I like. A little bit surprised he's not more popular on either site. And then Reed Shepard has been a monster off the bench. This guy was kind of a preseason darling 2 years in a row. People have played him in summer league and like every format except regular NBA. But he is finally that guy. I know I have a bunch of exposure in season long. 3 straight games over 30 fantasy points for him. 4, if you count the game against Milwaukee where he finished with exactly 30. I like Reed a lot here, man. One of my favorite guard values on this slate. Nobody is playing him. Really like Houston in general, though. Like all these guys I'm talking about: Shepard, Thompson, Durant, Sengun, and then Reed. And like I said, if you want to use Adams as a pivot off of some of the other chalk, I think it's okay. Not the best matchup, but loving Houston tonight. Jayhawk, how about you?
Yeah, I'm right here with you, man. Super great game for both watching or viewing and DFS purposes. And all these guys are really getting overlooked for the most part. So starting with Sengun, very tough spot here, but he's been very, very good. And the game total is super high. So I'm totally fine with Sengun even in this tough spot. And then I love KD as well. I never am a big KD fan, but I have to think he's going to wake up for this spot. So 17% owned. I think both of those guys look great. And then I'm with you on Reed Shepard, man. 3% and 2% owned. He's been smashing. Still no Tari Eason. He's kind of the guy, the six man for Houston. So I love Shepard at those ownerships as well.
Yep. Again, shocked he's not a little bit more popular. On the Cleveland side of things here, still no Darius Garland. Obviously, that's notable. Sam Merrill is questionable. No Tyson or Struve. So if Merrill is available, he's probably going to start. Hasn't been great. Obviously, needs his threes to fall. The interesting plays here are the payups, I think, mostly. I mean, we have Mitchell and Mobley who look good. Hunter's fine. DK did fix his price, though. And it's funny. I played 100% the other night when he was 4,500, and I don't think he got to 20 fantasy points. So, unfortunately, that square did not turn out to be free. And then we had Lonzo Ball. The minutes on him have been limited, but coming off the bench, especially if Merrill's out, I feel pretty good about him as guard value. I will say I prefer Reed Shepard, but if you're trying to get a little bit different, playing both of these guys in a lineup, I think, to open things up in other positions might be a good way to go. Have the 2 backup point guards in there. And there is a world where Ball starts if Merrill is out. So just keep an eye on that. But I like Cleveland here. Maybe not as much as Houston, but damn, man, like one of the more competitive games, high total. They check a lot of boxes. Which of these Cavs are standing out to you?
Yeah, so I'm kind of with you. I'm not as high on Cleveland here just because I think it's a little bit tougher of a spot against Houston. I think Mitchell's probably my favorite here. 13 and 12%. He's been very, very good the last few games. I'm fine with Mobley. Like I mentioned, I like Siakam for a little bit more. I think Randall might be a little bit safer. We'll touch on him later. But yeah, I think Mitchell's probably my guy here. And just a note on DeAndre Hunter, yeah, man, they almost baited us into that, right? 4,500. No way he could fail. And then obviously under 20 fantasy points. So yeah, and I love the Lonzo shot too. No Sam Merrill would open up a couple more minutes for Lonzo.
Yeah, man, right there with you. Parker saying he likes Klingon as a center of value. Shouts out Sean S. becoming a member. Definitely appreciate you, my man. David here with an interesting question. Do I like Shepard over Giddy? I mean, point per dollar, yeah, but in general, no, David. Like if you're affording Giddy, I prefer him over Shepard. But it depends what you're doing with that salary, honestly. But yeah, man, again, just a really great game here. Keep an eye on the Merrill news. It's not huge. Keep an eye on the Jabari Smith news. could matter a little bit. But again, I think the good players here are the good players here. We already know who they're going to be. Um, let's see here. I think we got one more game. No, those are all the 7 o'clock games. All right, so we are now into this mess at 7:30 Eastern. We have the Warriors taking on the Miami Heat. Miami. Um, and if I sound like I'm, I don't know, growing depressed as I bring them up, it's because I am. We got no Jimmy Butler, no Steph Curry, no Draymond Green. Buddy Hield is available. No Al Horford, no Jonathan Kuminga, no DeAnthony Melton. So Kerr does this, right? If team's on a road trip, he picks a spot or two and he says, you know what, we're just going to kind of give this game up. We'll let the kids get run. And yeah, so as a result, none of the regular starters other than Moody and Pods will be available tonight. Their roles have to increase, I imagine. But the last time they did this, and I was messaging you before the stream, I think this is worth bringing up. November 5th, they played the Kings on the road. And that's exactly what they're doing here. They try not to do this in front of their home crowds. They benched everyone. They did have Kaminga available, though. He played 36 minutes. But in that game, we saw Will Richard go for 30 real points. He's going to be extremely popular here. I think he should be. I trust him over guys like Spencer, who are also drawing ownership, over a guy like Guy Santos, who's also drawing ownership. But yeah, that game had Al Horford available. He played as many minutes as he could. Jackson Davis only 9 minutes. Guy Santos was limited, but with Horford out, it's just tough to kind of know what to expect from the rotation with the bigs. Post started, but only played 16. So I want to go to the guards and the wings more than anything, just because I think we have other value centers on this slate. Like if Jackson Davis starts, he's one I'd probably get to a little bit more. But right now, I love Richard. Probably my favorite Golden State Warrior play. After that, I think Pods and Moody I trust over guys like Spencer and Santos. But man, this is a mess. Like most slates, we're not even talking about any of these guys. But how are you feeling about Golden State right now? Hopefully, we get that starting lineup soon because I think that could change things just a little bit at least.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much right here with you. Will Richard Richard, definitely my favorite play here. I guess that's not saying much because he could easily fail too somehow. But 46% owned. I think he looks great. Obviously, he's been very good for Golden State this year, even with those guys in. And then out of the rest of the bunch here, Pat Spencer, I do like, but 34% is a little bit high. Model does like him though, so cool with Spencer. I think he's definitely a solid value play. And then I was kind of on TJD. I think I'm kind of coming off TJD a little bit now with Bagley and some other value centers. Just worried about the rotations there, like you mentioned. And then I'm totally fine with Moody and Pods. Their minutes should be pretty stable. We have them for like both of them sub 30 minutes. So love Richard up top, fine with Pods and Moody. And then I think I would prefer Spencer among the rest of these guys here.
Yeah, on Pods, he only played 26 minutes last night. And also, he's played back to backs this year. 11th and 12th played 20 and then 28 minutes, respectively. Of 4th and 5th, he played 24 and then 31 minutes, respectively. And that 31-minute performance did come in that game I was talking about Will Richard earlier, where they benched everyone. So Pods should be good to go. I'm just taking a look at Moody, too, because, again, I think we could trust these guys more. Yeah, Moody had 50 fantasy points that game against Sacramento. And he's played 20 then 26 on a back-to-back here. He did go 29 last night, but I don't expect any sort of limitations for him. So, again, if I'm ranking these guys, I think Pods and Moody are the safest, but then Will Richard's my favorite value. If you want to get more than that, feel free. I think you're kind of rolling the dice, though. And Buddy Hield hilariously last night. I don't know if you saw that clip. Jimmy tried to pass it to him, and Hield kind of cut out of the lane. He said, I'm never giving you the ball again. It was pretty hysterical. I just think Butler's comedy. But yeah, man, a few more questions coming in. Sharp or Denny? We'll talk about that game in a little bit, Greg, but I believe Sharp is doubtful, so going to have to be Denny there. FanDuel paying up or down at center. I think more so down, Prince, but some of the value centers are power forward eligible. Obviously, if you could afford Jokic, feel free. We'll talk about that in a little bit, though. I want to keep the game by game going, Jayhawk. Otherwise, I'll throw more of these questions to you as we keep going. But we get the Miami Heat side of things here. And they're favorites, maybe not as big of favorites as you might expect them to be. They are supposed to get Bam on a bio back tonight. He's been out for a while. This is obviously majorly significant for the rest of this team. A guy who does take up a lot of usage also makes them a much better team in general, though, especially defensively. Wiggins, revenge, not really at home, I'd say. I don't mind getting to him. Norm Powell going to take a lot of shots. But with Bam coming back, honestly, everything feels overpriced here. Like even Wiggins and Mitchell, who I think are okay plays. I don't know. I'll just wait for these prices to settle a bit. And again, there is some blowout risk here, I think, with Golden State benching most of their best players. Is there anything from Miami you're going to be running it back with?
Yeah, the only guy I really was gonna mention here was Hawkes, but I think he's kind of overpriced as well with Bam back here. So yeah, all these guys kind of priced, with Bam out. So yeah, very tough to say any of these guys are like flag plants or top plays here.
Yeah, I think Bam himself is fine. They probably want to get him close to 30 minutes first game back. That's not a guarantee. And again, I think Wiggins, Powell, and Mitchell are all fine, but none of them really stand out over the other. Okay, so let's move into this 8 o'clock window now. We got the Nuggets taking on the Pels, one of those huge spreads I was talking about earlier. Nuggets have been solid, 233.5 point total here. But tonight, no Christian Brown. Aaron Gordon is questionable. No Julian Strother either. I don't think they need Gordon here. He's not the type to rest unless he's really hurt, though. So I do imagine he's going to play. Jokic, in spite of the blowout concerns, in spite of everything, still one of the most popular plays on the slate. 13K over on TK, 12.8 over on FanDuel. But he's been a monster, man. Continues to produce. This matchup is about as soft as any. 85 plus fantasy points in two of his last four. Those other two, he went for nearly 70. So it seems like no matter what, Jokic is a good play. If you can afford him tonight, go ahead and do it. But I can't say you have to jam him in. We have a lot of good center plays to consider. But other than Jokic, I mean, Murray's been really good too. I think there are just more guards that I want to get to than him necessarily. Those two do stand out. I'm not going to lie. It is a great matchup, but the blowout does give me some concern. Jayhawk, how about you? Are you getting to Murray and Jokic or any of these other Nuggets?
Yeah, blowout's definitely concerning here. Only at 14 points from last time I checked, but yeah, Jokic 13K seems crazy, but he's been insane. Totally fine, and I do like getting him all the way up there, even with all the value we have. So yeah, love Jokic obviously. Jamal, 8,600, great spot, but I do worry about his ceiling in this spot with at that price. So I think Jamal is fine, but I don't love the price point. And then yeah, if Aaron Gordon sits, potentially Peyton Watson, 4,600 here. Maybe you could get there, but it's kind of tougher to get there with all the other value we have. So mainly just Jokic and Murray here, like you mentioned.
Yep, Pelicans, the team I don't think we need to spend too much time on. Obviously, terrible matchup for them. Sadiq Bey is questionable. Still no Murray or Poole. Sounds like Zion could play tonight, though, which would obviously cut into the upside of everyone else, similar to what we're seeing in Miami. I don't know, man. I mean, Queen's a little bit too expensive for me to want to roll the dice on him. Can say the same for Fears. I mean, Murphy is okay. If Zion's back, it's going to cut into his upside. Maybe Alvarado in a blowout, but that's not the type of dice I feel like rolling when we have Golden State value. Anything from New Orleans for you? It's pretty much a no for me.
Yeah, I'll mention one guy, kind of like Derek Queen, 5,200. I think he's probably blowout proof, and he's been pretty good. So I'll say Derek Queen's the only guy I have a major interest, or not major interest in here.
Yep. Greg McGee saying DiVincenzo or Isaiah Joe for cash. I would say neither, and I don't mean to be like snide making some coy remark, but you got Richard there, man. I think you want him in your cash lineups. I think Pod's at his price. You could play at either guard position than Moody. Like if you don't already have those three Warriors, I would kind of reconsider and build to get them in there. Also, if we're looking at value real quick on FanDuel, I mean, we have Bagley, who we'll talk about in a minute. I don't love Buddy Hield, but yeah, I just don't think DiVincenzo or Joe are cash plays for me. Are there any other guards that are really standing out to you as paydowns tonight, Jayhawk?
Let's see. Yeah, you touched on, I guess Moody's not cheap. Caleb Love is super chalky on FanDuel, 50%. I guess that's probably a cash game play if he's going to be 50% owned.
Yeah, honestly, I needed to dig in that game a bit more. I'm more on DK, but he does seem to be the model's favorite Portland value. Excuse me. How would we rank these three guards? Maxi, Giddy, SGA. I mean, in terms of upside, it's probably SGA first. I love Maxi at his price, though. He's going to be probably number one for me, followed by SGA, then Giddy. I think Giddy's going to be dealing with a lot of Tubani tonight. Not to the point that I wouldn't be playing Josh Giddy, but if I'm ranking the three best, that's where I'm at. Jayhawk, how about you? How are you feeling about those pay-ups at guard on FanDuel?
Yeah, obviously, if you can get up to SGA, I think he's great. But in terms of like who I'm going to get to first, probably Maxi, then SGA, then Giddy in that order.
Yep, I'm with you. They're all good plays, though, honestly. If you got a gut feeling, not going to talk you off any. Moving into another game here. In that, what is it, 8 o'clock window, we got the Sacramento Kings taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder and SGA. On the Kings side of things, Keegan Murray could be back this week. He is not back yet, though. Domantas Sabonis is going to be out here as well. We're probably going to see Eubanks starting at center. Speaking of value centers, I don't know if he's someone who's going to make it into my exposures. I do feel better about a lot of these other plays we're talking about, but expect to see him in the starting lineup. Russell Westbrook probably going to get the start here again as well. Again, this is the team kind of priced where they should be, even with Sabonis out. I don't know that I'm getting a ton of anything. I don't mind DeRozan, Levine, Westbrook, but none of them really stand out in a big way. This team also has guys on the bench that take up usage in Schroeder and Monk. So tough spot for me, Jayhawk. Are you getting to any Kings?
Yeah, so I rarely like fully cross out a team on big slates like this, but I don't see anyone here that really gets there from Sacramento. I mean, maybe you could get Westbrook in a close game, any of these studs, but for me, it's mainly a stay away from Sacramento here.
Yep, I'm with you, man. No Wiggins or Jalen Williams or Kenrich Williams or Nikola Topic, obviously, for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are massive favorites here at home. 232.5 point total. We talked about SGA as like a raw points play. I'm fine with him. I just think there are other guards to pay up for. Not much else I'm really interested in. I guess Isaiah Joe could get run in a blowout. That guard bench does go deeper this season than it did in years past, though. I think they do want to get young blood some minutes here or there. I don't know. Who knows? I just don't really think I can trust anything from OKC tonight other than a little bit of SGA. How about you?
Yep, right there with you. I think SGA great up top if you think he gets his 32 minutes here, and then yep, you nailed it. Isaiah Joe, great flyer if you want to take that blowout narrative. Nothing else here I really even like.
Yep. Yep. Sounds good to me. Another game at 8 o'clock here. We have the Wizards taking on the Timberwolves. Alexander Sarr is going to be out for the Wizards here. We'll start with them. Obviously, big underdogs on the road. 239.5 point total, though, is pretty solid. But yeah, man, Washington, Marvin Bagley, top value play on both sites. Center only, very popular. Can we get away from him? I don't know. Probably the best value center um, in terms of data. It's just a question of do you want to go with the field or not. I think I will have him in most of my lineups. But yeah, how you feel about Washington otherwise, man? I think Koulibaly's okay to mix in. You know I'm a huge fan of Trey Johnson. Can't really trust his minutes here necessarily, though, when we already have guard value elsewhere. But Bagley, and then I guess Vukcevic if you're looking for the pivot. But tough to get away from Marvin tonight, man. How you feeling about Washington?
Yeah, so you covered Marvin. I'm not going to cover too much. Fantastic play, great DK and FanDuel value here. Yeah, I think the other guy I was even looking at here was actually Koulibaly, just as a filler piece, 5,100. I don't love the price, but I think he makes sense in filling in lineups. And then yeah, not much Vukovic. You mentioned as a pivot if you don't like Bagley, but it's very tough, man. Like they still have a bunch of bodies on this team.
Yeah, we have Bagley for 24 minutes. He has not played that many minutes once this season. We go back to October preseason game. He played 24 at 40 fantasy points. So if that is the number of minutes he's going to play, he's an amazing play here. Just proceed with some caution because we don't know if that's a guarantee. Over on the Timberwolves side of things, DiVincenzo is in and available. McDaniels is out tonight. That is notable. No Terrence Shannon either. Minnesota, I mean, obviously we're concerned about the blowout. I think we see Jalen Clark maybe slide into the starting lineup, play the three. I don't have any interest in him. Naz Reid, though, has been a beast off the bench. Probably my favorite Timberwolf here. He's probably okay in a blowout, gets those 26 to 28 minutes, regardless of the way this game is going. Obviously, Edwards, Randall, Gobert, all fine as tournament plays with a ceiling. But I think Reid might be my favorite Timberwolf here. How about you?
Yeah, so kind of similar to the last game, I'm kind of playing it here as also a blowout. So I think Ant and Randall are both fine to get to. I think they're both slightly overowned just because of how good the spot is. So I love Nas Reid. I think Nas can get there through blowout as well. So I do like Nas a lot both sides. And then someone mentioned Dante earlier. He's fine. He's kind of similar to Randall and Ant. I think if they lose run, he's probably going to lose run as well.
Yo, shouts out MV saying 69 people watching live. Hit the like button. Do that indeed. The Prince, I think, speaking on Bagley, he's going to pull another Cornet. It's possible, man. If you want to get away from that that chalk value at center, plenty of pivots tonight for sure. So don't feel that you're obligated. I think on paper, though, if we do expect him to play 24 minutes, he's tough to get away from. Let's see here. 9:30 window now. So I believe that covers the entire DK slate, right? We got two more games to talk about here that are going to be on FanDuel only. First, we have the Knicks taking on the Mavericks. Knicks favorites on the road, 231.5 point total. No OG Anunoby. Jalen Brunson should be back tonight. He went through shoot around. He's listed as questionable. What does that do? It means Towns is a little bit overpriced. Brunson's okay. Tough to trust his minutes first game back, but even with OG out, I think Bridges, Hart are a little bit too pricey for me now that we're going to be getting Brunson back in the lineup. Good matchup, but no Knicks standing out to me. I wouldn't argue with anyone getting to any of the starters, though. How about you?
Yeah, so you mentioned that Brunson likely back here, and I think assuming Brunson's full go, I think Brunson's found himself 8,200. I do like that price point. A good chunk over on FanDuel. Um, do we know? I didn't see, is Anthony Davidson on the other side of the ball? I guess we'll touch on that.
He's out. He's still out.
He's out. Yeah, so I think Cat Towns with 80 still out here is fine, but I do prefer Brunson in this one.
Yeah, AD I think is healthy, and it's pretty funny. He's going to be available when the ownership allows him to be available. Mark Cuban came out today and said that they're not trading him though, so I do think we see him sooner rather than later. Sean here saying DraftKings has Brunson out. Honestly, do not trust DraftKings. I mean, you should be able to. So no fault on your part, but Underdog NBA Twitter is the way to go as far as injury news or the official NBA site. But yeah, DraftKings gets that stuff wrong all the time. So just double check it if that's where you're going for your information. On the Dallas side of things, AD is out, like I just said. No Dante Axum. My boy Cooper Flag is questionable. No Kyrie, obviously. Both centers back, Gafford and Lively. And then Caleb Martin's questionable. So Dallas is tough to get to here, I think. I mean, the guard situation's been a nightmare. Brandon Williams has been playing pretty well, but D'Lo goes off once in a while. I'm just frustrated because I've been missing player props on these guys. But Jason Kidd will mix it up night to night. So just proceed with caution as far as the guards go. Flags in. I think he's a little bit overpriced. PJ Washington, the one guy who does stand out here on FanDuel, 6,200 for him. Just feels too cheap. We have him for 32 minutes. You can mix in Marshall. You can mix in Christie. I'm probably not going to be. I think Washington's the one guy I'm comfortable with from Dallas just because he's too cheap. Jayhawk, which of the Mavericks are you interested in here, if any?
Yeah, I think it's mainly PJ. The ownership also reflects that, but 6,200, great price, potentially no flag, and potentially no Martin. So yeah, I think Washington, looks great. And then interested to see Brandon Williams. Him and you mentioned Russell kind of been flip flopping big games. So I don't think we really need to get there, but they're both in play, I think, in tournaments.
Yeah, at this price, I'm fine using Williams. And again, if you need to build for the late game so you could pivot if news breaks, then he's someone you could kind of put in there as like a safety stop. And yeah, inconsistent, but good enough at that price. One more game now on FanDuel. We got the Bulls taking on the Blazers here. Excuse me. Bulls actually favorites on the road because Portland's rested a few key pieces. Let's start with Chicago, though. Trey Jones is questionable. I don't think he goes. I don't know that it's huge whether he does or not. No Zach Collins. Jalen Smith is probable. They got Giddy back. Kobe White is back now too, so he could cut into the upside of some of these guys. I think Giddy's a fine play here, but again, there are so many great guards in that price range. I just don't know that I'm going to get to him. And again, with Kobe back and Giddy back now, I think everyone's a little bit overpriced. Tough for me to get to any Chicago here, Jayhawk. How about you?
Yep, right here with you. I think Josh Giddey probably the top play here, but you mentioned Kamara defense potentially, and we have so many great guards up top. So Giddey's fine, and then Vooch 4%. Sure, you can get there at that ownership, but I do prefer other centers. And then yeah, not too much else I like here. So just Giddey and Vooch.
Yeah, once those prices settle, we can start getting Bulls again. But until they do, over on the Portland side of things, Jeremy Grant questionable. No Scoot Henderson. No Drew Holiday. Obviously, no Damian Lillard. Shady on Sharp is doubtful. He's going to be out. No Robert Williams, Blake Wesley, or Matisse Thybulle. This team's thin tonight, man. Denny, he's already been excellent, but he's going to be playing more point guard here. Excuse me. He is one of my favorite payups over on FanDuel. Very popular, though, at 50% owned, but an excellent play in a great matchup. Add Kling into that group of centers. I know someone shouted him out earlier. Good shout. He's definitely one you can mix in. Jeremy Grant should see even more run here, likely to slide in the starting lineup. He's been great off the bench. And Caleb Love getting all the love here. No pun intended, kind of unavoidable, but he played 32 minutes against Phoenix yesterday. 32 fantasy points, and he's going to be in a similar role here today. We have him for 28 minutes. So, yeah, like the pay up in Denny, like the pay down in Love. Fine mixing in what's in between. But those two, Denny and Caleb Love, probably the priorities here, Jayhawk. How do you feel about Portland in a great matchup with one of the highest total games on the slate at 242.5?
Yeah, starting with Denny, I just wanted to make this quick note. Were you able to watch the game last night? Because it was a blowout in the second half, and they put Denny in when they were down like 25, and he scored one bucket, and then he came right back out. So I think there's some fishery going on there with Chauncey Billups, man, because he ended up getting over 15 points with that bucket. But no, I think Denny up top looks awesome. 9K flat. Love Denny up top. So and then I think Caleb Love looks great as well. Those two definitely priorities over on FanDuel. And then Jeremy Grant, 37%. He's questionable. If he does play, I think he looks great as well. So those three, I think, all look awesome on FanDuel. And then Donovan Clean, I did want to hear your thoughts on him. 10% owned. He's had a couple big games, but kind of difficult on such a big slate like this.
Yeah, I think he's a good tournament play. I just don't think his minutes are secure as some of the other value centers. I'm playing a ton of Drummond. He's a little bit more expensive, but I do think Clingan's a good pivot. And yeah, he's been producing at a really high level. It's just in limited minutes, so there is a wide range of outcomes there. But yeah, definitely fine getting over the field at 10% on FanDuel.
Love it. Yeah, that's kind of how I see it.
Awesome, yeah. We do have Jayhawk in the Discord today. He will be going from 6:30 Eastern up until lock. His lineups come in, giving you guys any last thoughts, etc. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the links to get access to the premium model we have here. We have a brand new lineup builder, too. I also have to plug this. I have barely started to scratch the surface of it, but they've made some major upgrades. I don't think the price has changed at all. Shouts out to the team behind the scenes doing that. But yeah, new multi-lineup builder, better than ever. A bunch of great features. So definitely check that out as well. I think there's a video on the channel, too, if you want to get a sneak peek. But enough about all the good stuff we have going. Let's keep it going into the evening here with the dummy build. Struggling to segue there, but here we go. So let's start with the Warriors, man. I want Pods. I want Moody. I want Richard. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Are there any other Golden State guys you want? Am I crazy to be as bullish on these three as I am?
No, I like all those guys. I think guys are all great here. I like them definitely better than the 3K bigs for Golden State. I do like Tyrese Maxey up top. Can we throw him in there?
Okay, yeah. We can afford a pay up or two. Let's definitely get Maxey in there. Let's see what else. Ownership. Bagley.
Yeah, Bagley's great.
Yeah, assuming he starts, I think Marvin Bagley, as long as he plays 20 minutes, should easily hit value. I mean, we can play Nas Reed and power forward. I think he's too cheap. Again, even if that game blows out, he probably gets his 28 minutes. We got 7,700 for a forward and a utility. We could honestly jam another pay up. I mean, I don't know. What do you want to do here?
Ooh, I love all these Houston studs. I like KD, Sengun, Amen. Any of those guys look great.
Let's go with Sengun, I guess, and see what we have at forward here. 6K. Hunter, don't love it. Maybe we come down to KD, yeah, and then upgrade that. I don't know. Didn't mean to cut you off there. Forward, we got Barrett, Wiggins. I don't know. Maybe the Wiggins run back, and we hope that Golden State game stays close. That's not terrible. We could also move Durant to forward and see what's at utility. But in honor of your double duty today, hopefully we give you 2 minutes to get a drink of water. Let's go ahead and build on FanDuel as well. Same guys, Pods.
Can we try to get quickly? We both kind of liked him as like a low-owned guard play. Or can we fit him in? Or do we do it in the front?
Yeah, easily. And then let's go ahead and get Caleb Love and Denny in this one.
Oh, we might have too many guards.
Now, Moody can play forward.
Okay. Perfect.
I know I'm just ripping through it today, guys, but we want to give Jayhawk a moment to gather himself here in between. We got power forward and center. We could jam Joker, honestly.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I mean, it's tough not to feel good about that, right? I mean, we got PJ Washington's too cheap.
Yep.
That leaves us with. I don't love this range, honestly. Chet.
Yeah, he's okay. Who else is down here? Forward.
We can also just go down. Yeah, I'm like,
Jeremy Grant is great too. I don't know if that's too. That might be too
yeah,
many.
if Grant's in, I think he's the guy. If we click him, we can upgrade like even Moody. I love Moody as a play, but I don't know. Quickly could become something even better. Like
Yeah,
Murray, Thompson. I mean, we got options here.
I love that. Yeah, that's
All
good.
right. Donkey had a good game yesterday. Thanks for the time. Appreciate you, David S. Allen and Gobert on FanDuel. I think Allen's safer because that game stays close, Luke. But if you want to chase the ceiling, maybe Gobert. But it's Allen for me, Jayhawk. You got thoughts on that one?
Yeah, probably Allen for me as well.
Yeah, that game should be one of the better games on the slate, Luke. Hopefully that means he plays well into the fourth quarter. But as always, appreciate you all tuning in today. Fun slate tonight. Definitely keep an eye on lineups, on news. That Warriors lineup could be interesting. Bagley should start. That's not a guarantee, though. Keep an eye on that as well. Jeremy Grant news if you're playing on FanDuel. The list goes on and on. I'm out of here. Jayhawk will be in Discord. Jayhawk, any last words before we call it a night?
Just make sure to not send Steve Kerr any bad Christmas letters after he has crazy rotations tonight or Christmas cards.
Yeah. Yeah, don't blame us. Blame Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
Playing a lot of Golden State. But take care, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you guys. Good luck.